Previously on Danganronpa.
There's another problem,
How?
and that is why ever did the seance fail? Simply cannot figure it out.
Perhaps.
Because Tenko is dead! Oh my god. I mean, well, first of all, seances aren't real. That's the real reason why it failed. But from your point of view, Tenko is dead! Dead person cannot summon the dead! What the hell? But he has immunity. He's the thorn. You son of a bitch! Hello, I'm Unca Crunk. Welcome back to Danganronpa. And we're about to start the trial to find out who killed 2 people this time. Alright, so start with the skills. How many points do I have? 37, and I'm currently using 24. Okay, let us begin the class trial.
Now then, let's begin with the basic explanation of the class trial. During the trial, you'll present your arguments for who the culprit is and vote for who done it. Vote correctly, and only the blackened will be punished. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will graduate from this academy. Also, refusing to vote will result in your death, so you better vote for someone. Now, smiles, everyone! It's showtime! Let's get this crazy awesome trial underway!
Sorry, everyone. I don't think I'm gonna be much help this time.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Because of Monokuma's disruptions, I couldn't do a thorough investigation.
I can tell Monokuma is overcompensating to hide his self-consciousness.
Next time, spend less time fixing your hair and more time investigating, spaceman!
Shut up! I don't need to hear some comedy act from you 2 weirdos.
Who did it? Who killed Angie and Tenko?
Oh, poor Himiko.
Do not let your emotions hasten your judgment. There may be 2 killers.
Nope, you did it.
So, our other culprit might not be one of us here.
What do you mean?
The transfer student.
Oh, good grief.
Maybe our resurrected transfer student dragged Angie and Tenko into the grave.
Stop it! Stop making stuff up!
Say something, Shuichi. It'll be a mess if this keeps going on.
Is it even possible for a revived corpse to be the culprit? Well, in the interest of being thorough, I should clear things up here. Okay.
This crime was committed by the recently deceased. They came back to life and killed 2 of our classmates!
No! So, ritual did work?
Who was resurrected, I wonder?
Angie did say she was gonna bring Rantaro back. Yes. Rantaro was resurrected.
Wrong button.
The culprit is the late Rantaro Amami!
Please, stop it!
This isn't about believing in reviving the dead. I have to focus on their statements. Were all those statements correct?
This crime was committed by the recently deceased. They came back to life and killed 2 of our classmates!
No! So, ritual did work?
Who was resurrected, I wonder?
Angie did say she was gonna bring Rantaro back. Yes. Rantaro was resurrected. The culprit is the late Rantaro Amami!
Please, stop it!
I have no idea.
This crime was committed by the recently deceased.
All right, hang on. Let's see, All right. I think I know what it is.
They came back to life and killed 2 of our classmates!
No! So, ritual did work?
No.
Wrong!
Necronomicon wasn't destroyed.
I don't think Angie's ritual succeeded. According to the Necronomicon Monokuma showed us, you have to burn the Necronomicon in the ritual.
Yep. After preparing the effigy, burn this Necronomicon to ashes. Use caution, be mindful of carbon monoxide poisoning. Sprinkle the ashes on the effigy and repeat the name of the deceased 3 times.
If Angie's ritual had succeeded, the book would have been gone.
So she must have been killed before the ritual was complete, since the book was still intact.
Then, Gonta think Rantaro probably not culprit.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Well, duh. There's no way a dead person could resurrect.
Now hold on a second! I can't let that comment stand!
Oh boy.
Sure, everybody knows that you can't bring the dead back to life. But it's easy at the Ultimate Academy, as long as you use the Necronomicon.
What are you talking about? There's no way that's possible.
But it's true. I never lie about motives.
Daddy said so he can't be wrong. Raising the dead is totally possible.
Man, I can't believe you guys wasted such a perfectly good motive. You should have let me use it to bring Monodum back to life.
Monodum is still alive, though.
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't waste a resurrection on Monodum's corpse.
You're on the threshold of an amazing adventure.
What?
Oh? So resurrecting the dead was actually possible this whole time?
There's no way it's possible!
There's no way that could happen, idiots. Monokuma is trying to confuse us. Let's hurry up and find out who the Blackened is.
If our transfer student isn't the culprit, then blame falls to one of us.
Who? Who did it?
Step aside, Half Pint. I'll handle this.
Oh, really?
I don't know about Tenko, but I'm pretty fucking sure Kyo murdered Angie.
What? Why?
Don't play dumb with me, Creepshow. I already know what happened. The culprit used a katana to kill Angie. And it was found in Kyo's research lab. Which makes you, Kyo, automatically suspicious.
But anyone could have taken that katana, you see.
So that rusty katana was the murder weapon. You were the only one who cared about that thing, Kyo.
I did not care about some katana.
Just admit it, you shit-eating worm. You went to the classroom, broke in, and murdered the fuck out of Angie! Booyah! I'm a fucking genius!
Is Korikyo really the culprit? Does that story fit the facts of the case? We should think about it from the beginning.
The culprit used a katana to kill
Hang on.
Angie.
Let's try this.
And it was found in Kyo's research lab. Which makes you, Kyo, automatically suspicious.
But anyone could have taken that katana, you see.
So that rusty katana was the murder weapon. You were the only one who cared about that thing, Kyo.
I did not care about some katana.
Just admit it, you shit-eating worm. You went to the classroom, broke in,
What? How did?
and murdered the fuck out of Angie! Oh yeah! I'm a fucking genius! The culprit used
I am
a
pretty
katana
sure
to
I
kill
had
Angie.
my
And it was
reticule own the thing that I was trying to shoot.
But anyone could have taken that katana, you see. So that rusty katana was the murder weapon. You were the only one who cared about that thing, Kyo. I did not care about some katana.
Just admit it, you shit-eating worm. You went to the classroom, broke in.
Okay.
That's wrong!
That's wrong.
No, Kyo would not have been able to enter Angie's lab. Isn't that right, Tsumugi?
Yeah. Before Angie locked herself up in her research lab, she said she wasn't going to open up for anyone but student council members.
And Kyo is not a member. She wouldn't have opened the door for him.
Kyo couldn't have killed Angie even if he wanted to.
I had no desire to kill her in the first place.
So whoever killed Angie must have been one of the student council members, yeah?
I was doing a bit to lead you to the right answer. Can't believe you actually got it.
Oh, how clever.
Okay, so they're trying to set Tenko up as the person who killed Angie, I think.
You can just ignore her, Gonta.
The remaining student council members are Gonta, Kibo, Tsumugi, and Himiko.
Well, it can't be Himiko. She was besties with Angie. I trust their friendship. You guys do too, right?
Yeah, of course.
Can we trust their friendship so readily?
Obviously. Let's believe in them.
That trims our list of suspects down to 3. Gonta, Tsumugi, and Kibo.
Okay, I'm a little confused here. Why is Kyo not mentioning Tenko? Is he trying to avoid looking suspicious?
Yep. The culprit is one of those 3 people.
You mean one of those 2 people? Because a robot ain't people, Jack!
I will let that remark slide. Anyway, aren't these accusations just a tad too hasty?
What ifs? The culprit should confess already. Gonta, Keyboy, or Tsumugi? Well,
No, not Gonta. Gonta would never kill Angie.
Yeah, Gonta's a gentleman. You shouldn't suspect either of us.
Hey, stick up for me too.
Gonta definitely not hurt anyone. Torture Gonta if you don't believe.
Torture might be a bit too far, but Gonta and I aren't the culprits.
And I'm not the culprit either. Jeez.
Gonta not
No, you're
culprit.
not the culprit.
Okay. They're doing this now. Mass panic debate start.
We must consider
Gonta,
other
gentlemen.
possibilities. Surely there must be suspects
Gentlemen,
outside the
not
student
betray
council.
student council.
that's utterly impossible.
For last night?
A dead chick
Not just
can't be the
anyone can open
culprit!
that door.
Why?
Only student council members had
Late at
access.
night.
Look, I don't know who
Hey,
the
man.
I
culprit
didn't know
is,
robots told such boring lies.
but it's definitely not
Is
me.
that a robophobic remark?
Insect.
Okay, there were several suspicious statements, but one is obviously inconsistent. Listen carefully sort the statements in my head and find the answer.
We must consider
Gonta,
other
gentlemen.
possibilities.
Sure, there must be suspects outside the student council. It was already possible last night.
A dead chick
Open that
culprit!
door.
Why?
Only student council.
Night.
Oh, I missed by a lot.
I don't know who the
Ask
culprit is.
I didn't-
No, robots told such boring lies. But it's homophobic remarks. We must consider other possibilities. Sure, there must be suspects outside the student council. It was already possible last night. A dead chick
Anyone could open
culprit!
that door.
Why?
Only student council members had access.
Damn.
Look, I don't know who the
I
culprit
didn't know
is.
robots told such boring lies.
But it's definitely not me.
Why?
Only student council members had access.
Look, I don't know who.
What the actual what? Angie said she would only open that. Angie said she would only open the door for student council members, right? Who else could have opened it? I can't think of anyone else.
Damn it!
Wait, what? Did I have the wrong bullet selected?
You must consider other
I did.
possibilities.
Damn it.
Surely there must be suspects outside the
Not
student
betray
council.
student council!
That's utterly impossible.
For last night.
A dead chick
Not just
can't be the
anyone could open
culprit.
that door.
Why?
Only student council members had
Late
access.
at night.
Look, I don't know who the culprit is.
Okay. Counter! Yay.
No, it wasn't just student council members that could have opened that lab door.
What was it you said earlier about Kyo opening the door, Shuichi? Unless you're a student council member, you can't enter Angie's lab, right?
I was referring to Kyo. He couldn't have done it, but you could have. Because I saw you open the classroom lock by picking it.
Kokichi pulled out some thin needles and stuck them into the keyhole of the lock. Click, click, click. Clack. There, open sesame.
Oh, that happened? I totally forgot.
Sure you did.
So you're going to pretend you don't remember, huh?
Quit glaring at me like that. Of course I remember. Yeah, I did it. I killed Angie.
Wait, what? What did you just say?
I picked the lock to her lab, snuck into the room, and then wham! Killed Angie.
Okay, what's your play here?
The culprit was me, all along.
What?
What are you saying? Is this some kind of joke?
Nah, no joke. I thought that if I confessed, I could atone for my sins. And it helped. I feel so much better. Whew!
Wait, so Kokichi really is culprit?
Of course not.
No, he's lying. I think. Maybe?
He's lying. I'm certain of it.
No, definitely not a lie. I killed Angie. Shouldn't you guys believe the culprit when they confess?
Then let me ask you, culprit, how did you lock the room?
Huh? Well, it's the same as opening it. You pick the door closed from the outside.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Huh? What doesn't make sense? Can't you lock a door by picking it?
Maybe, but that's not how the culprit locked the room. They used a different method.
What different method?
Yeah, Mumbles. Use your big boy voice and explain yourself.
Okay, this one I know.
There were 2 doors to the classroom, and the one locked last was...
The back door.
That's it! The back door. That's how they made this a locked room mystery.
The back door had a sliding lock, yes? How was it locked from the outside?
The culprit used a certain tool.
The tool that the culprit used to lock the sliding door from outside was... Oh, God. This. Oh, there it is. That was much easier than last time.
The gold leaf katana that was stabbed into Kaede's effigy. The culprit used that to hit the knob of the sliding lock to lock the door.
So the gold leaf was on the sliding lock
Because when the katana hit the lock, some of the gold leaf rubbed off on it. The gold leaf on that katana did peel rather easily.
That evidence rings a bell. Specifically, a school bell.
Huh? Are you talking about a different school? What school was it?
Hope speak.
Now, that doesn't matter anymore. Let's not dwell on the past.
Ooh, the gold leaf landed on the sliding lock when the katana touched it. So that means the culprit used the katana to move the sliding lock, right? But wait, how did they move it with the katana? And from outside Angie's lab?
The clue that might give us the answer is the layout of the area itself. It was an odd setup after all. The katana stabbed into the effigy. The effigies hung upside down.
Angie didn't do that as part of the ritual?
No, all of that was obfuscation.
No. Nowhere in the Necronomicon did it say you had to hang the effigies.
If it was not part of the ritual, then it must have been for a different purpose, right?
A different purpose. What could that have been? Culprit somehow used the setup to lock the room. In that case, I need to know the reason behind every step of that setup. If I do that, the way the culprit locked the room should be clear. And now what? Psyche taxi! Yay. Oh crap. What turned the handle of the sliding lock? That would be the katana.
Taking time.
Katana's hilt. Okay, next question. Okay, what was done to make the katana turn the lock?
Taking time.
Katana, yeah, okay. Katana was stabbed into the effigy. Final question. How was the effigy manipulated to make the katana affect the lock?
Taking time.
Spinning it. Yay! Alright. What turned the handle of the sliding lock? The katana's hilt. What was done to make the katana turn the lock? The katana was stabbed into the effigy. How was the effigy manipulated to make the katana affect the lock? Spinning it.
It connects! That's it. The reason the culprit stuck the katana into the effigy was so that it would hit the sliding lock as the effigy spun.
Effigy spun?
That's right. If you spun the effigy, the rope it was hanging from would twist. Then, if you let it go, the rope would unwind and the effigy would spin the other way. And of course, the katana would spin with it.
I see. So the culprit used the katana's counterspin to push the lock into place? The culprit simply needed to spin the effigy's rope and then swiftly leave. This would cause the spinning katana to hit the sliding lock. And thus was the back door of an empty classroom locked from the inside.
Yes, that's how Angie's lab was locked. By using the effigy with the katana.
A plan born from the heart of a sword traveling through the air to intercept us. Oh, but could it have moved the slide lock so easily?
Yep.
The sliding lock was pretty loose. A little push could move it. As long as the spinning katana hit the lock, it would have slid into position.
Even if the culprit failed the first couple times, they could keep trying until it locked.
Which is why the culprit chose to strike at nighttime as to avoid detection.
Yes, since the student council prohibited anyone from walking around at nighttime.
Are you saying it's the student council's fault?
A little bit, yeah.
I didn't say that.
In any case, the culprit probably used the murder weapon for this trick. It had to have been the right length to hit the sliding lock from the effigy.
The culprit couldn't find a blade long enough in my lab, so they settled for the katana.
The other effigies were only hung up so we'd think it was some kind of ceremony. That way, we wouldn't notice the lock trick.
Look at the big brain on Kaito.
But Kokichi did say earlier that he could have picked the lock closed. I don't want to completely ignore that possibility. But I can't imagine the culprit would have done all this just for a distraction.
If that's the case, then Kokichi's confession earlier was actually...
Seriously? You fucking lied again?
Yeah, he did.
Cough it up, Kokichi!
Oh, man. You guys got me. Okay, I'm not the culprit.
You're telling the truth this time, right?
I want to say I'm lying, but I'm not.
Why did you say you were the culprit?
I wanted to lure the culprit out.
Excuse me?
If I claim to be the culprit, then the real culprit would agree as well. You get me? And if they pressured me to confess, then that would have looked mighty suspicious.
Unfortunately, the culprit is too damn smart to have done that.
Sheesh. Darn it. It didn't go my way because Shuichi butted in on my plan.
Well, there is that as well.
You and your fucking lies! Go sit in the corner and play with yourself!
Okay, I'll start right now.
All right, so who's the asshole who set up this locked room mystery?
Mew, I can't hold it up anymore.
What's the matter? You going soft on me now?
Who made the locked room mystery doesn't matter since anyone could have done it. Don't you even understand something as basic as that, you filthy cum dumpster?
Damn!
Cum dumpster! Finally! Someone finally called me a cum dumpster!
Holy shit!
What should we talk about now?
literally anything else going to...
We must focus not on the locked room, but on who entered Angie's lab. Only one of the student council members or Kokichi could have gained entry. Therefore, the culprit must be among their number.
That leaves us with 4 suspects. Tsumugi, Gonta, Kibo, and Kokichi.
Hang on. All right. I've been trying to figure out how Korikio could have gotten in there, but Angie was willing to let Shuichi and Maki join. Like, as just all we had to do was just be like, okay, yeah, we're going to do something for I forget what exactly we were supposed to do. So maybe Korikio just joined the student council and killed her before she could, you know, tell anyone. Seems a little too pat, though.
Don't forget Himiko. She's also a part of the student council. Doesn't matter if she was besties with Angie, she's still a suspect.
That contradicts what you said earlier, which I can prove using my recording function.
It's fine. That's just a waste of time.
Me? A suspect?
No.
I never kill Angie!
You'd never kill anyone. I did too much effort.
So, calling all suspects, what should we discuss next? I want to hear everyone's opinion. What would you say to get yourself off the suspect list?
Why are you trying to lead the debate? You're a suspect too.
Silence, outsider. Only the suspect rangers are allowed to speak.
What the what?
Suspect rangers?
I agree. Those under suspicion should explain themselves thoroughly.
We might catch them with their pants down.
Anyway, I want to ask the suspect rangers. What should we talk about? What should we say to get ourselves off the suspect list? Well, guys, I want to hear what you think.
That's sort of a difficult question, you know?
Gonta not smart enough to know answer to that.
Yes, it is difficult to formulate a logical response to that question.
Not articulate with words, huh? Don't you guys want to prove your innocence?
They don't trust you one bit, and I don't blame them. You're probably plotting.
Why did Tenko have to die?
Oh.
Huh?
I want to know what happened to Angie too, but... Can we talk about Tenko's case now and not just Angie's?
I got you exactly where I wanted, Himiko.
What do you mean?
The 2 victims could have been killed by 2 separate murderers, you know. So we need to find the first Blackened responsible for the first victim. We've got to figure out who killed Angie. Until we solve Angie's case, Tenko's case is meaningless. Did you suggest that to waste our time?
It's not meaningless!
Himiko?
Tenko's death was meaningless? How dare you! Poor Tenko! How could you do this to her? Himiko...
Himiko, stop it with your crappy lies.
Lies?
Everything you said is total BS. You didn't give 2 shits about Tenko when she was alive. But now you're like, oh no, poor Tenko, after she's dead. Come on, really?
Kokichi, enough!
No. It's okay. It's no surprise he'd think that. I know I ignored Tenko before. That's why I'm so upset now. I should have faced Tenko. Worked things out with her while she was still alive. But now, it's too late. I can't complain to her or thank her.
Oh, poor Himiko.
It's too late.
Yeah, seriously! It's way too late to realize that now.
Damn, Kaito!
Our only option is to face her death head on.
You couldn't let her have just a moment.
Yeah. Face her death?
Himiko, I understand what you're going through. So I'm gonna help you out. Let's work together to find the truth. I'm not gonna let anyone say her death didn't matter.
Kaito.
Oh.
All right. I'll put a silencing curse on whoever calls Tenko's death meaningless.
Well, I guess Kaito has his own way of boosting someone up.
The name of the curse is Death Curse. I suppose being dead would silence someone pretty good.
Listen up! All you guys are gonna help out too. Abandoning someone who died and only thinking about your own survival. That's just as bad as a hit and run! I won't forgive something so messed up!
Tenko was our friend. Gonta wanna know why she died too.
I already told you that's so unnecessary. We're getting sidetracked here.
Same murderer. Maybe figuring out Tenko's murder will help us figure out Angie's.
No, even if it was a different culprit, we need to know how Tenko died. If we don't find out who killed her, we won't be able to work together. Not now, not ever. Even if this trial isn't for her, in order for us to survive, we need to get to the bottom of Tenko's death. Not just to survive this trial, but so we can keep going and live on!
Kaito.
Finally, you noticed. Jeez, you're so slow.
Oh, now what?
Huh? Did Kokichi want us to notice?
Don't listen to his crap. We haven't decided whether there were two different culprits yet.
Let us talk about Tenko's case then. Perhaps that will provide us a clue.
Yeah, maybe.
You're not wrong, but I don't mind going over Tenko's case. That was an abrupt change of topic. Was that intentional?
So what do we talk about first?
For now, let's see if we can narrow down the list of suspects.
Tancrotch probably got killed during the seance, so everyone there's suspicious.
Tancrotch!
People who attended the seance. Okay. Kiyo, Shuichi, Himiko, Kokichi. Yes.
That's it! It was me, Kiyo, Himiko, and Kokichi.
So those four are the culprits!
Oh, Himiko's still culprit?
Well, that's probably just a coinkydink. The most suspicious out of the four is really Kiyo. He suggested the whole seance idea.
True, I may have suggested it, but I explained the procedure beforehand, yes? If we all knew of it before the murder, then we are all equally suspicious.
Oh, Kokichi knows about the other rooms being set up exactly like the room that the seance was done in.
Well, I suppose, but...
In addition, the seance wasn't entirely in my control either.
Yeah, it was.
I was not the one who selected the room we performed it in. It was Himiko.
There it is. Kokichi's got your ass, Kiyo. However, there are 3 empty rooms. Which one shall we use? The middle room. The middle room's always best for stuff like this. Very well. I shall begin the preparations at once.
Oh, right.
Also, we should not limit our suspects to only those who participated in the seance. The empty room had a point of entry from outside, you see.
The point of entry from outside. He must be referring to the hole in the floor. I think that's it.
There! You're talking about under the floor, right?
Huh? Under the floor?
Yes, there's a crawl space under the floor a person could move through. There was also a hole that connected it to the neighboring room.
If the culprit used the hole, they could have entered and exited the seance room.
If we consider that possibility, then there is another suspect.
Another suspect? Who?
It's appearing before me. Oh, I can see it clearly. The true identity of Tenko's killer.
Oh, really? What?
The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't
Oh, wrong one.
the floor.
Wrong button.
You see, our villain had a light.
Light? You mean candle?
I mean, Kibo's flashlight function.
Huh? Now hold on a second.
Kibo could have used that function to get under the floor and sneak into the empty room during the seance.
I said hold on a second.
Okay.
He used his robot functions to commit the murders.
Hold on a second.
It's true that with a little light you can move around under the floor. But is that possible?
The culprit sneaked in during the seance.
Crawling under the floor. Because it wasn't dark under the floor.
You see, our villain had a light.
Candle?
I mean, Kibo's flashlight function.
Huh? Now hold on a second.
Kibo could have used that function to get under the floor.
Crap. It sure is sure is cramped under the floor, but there's enough room for one person to move around. Especially if they had Kibo's flashlight.
Oh no!
That's not what I was going for.
The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
There it is.
Wrong! I don't think the culprit could have used a light while under the floor. There was a hole in the corner of the room. If a light were used, it would have leaked through and we would have seen it.
But when we did the seance, the room was definitely pitch black.
So a light was not shined under the floor, which means you cannot claim I am the culprit.
Geez, here I thought this would be the case where the murder could only be done by a robot.
You have accused me of being the culprit more than once now, simply because I am a robot. My status as a robot does not mean I am capable of performing superhuman feats. My vision is somewhat poor, and I only possess average physical strength and intelligence.
All right, you made your point. God, now I feel sort of bad for you.
I neither want nor need your pity.
Enough with the flashlight! It's way too bright!
It would have been difficult to move around under the floor in that pitch black darkness. Maybe the floor and the hole have nothing to do with this case.
Then why was floorboard under Tenko lined up funny? Going to think that was so culprit could stab Tenko from under floor.
Not quite.
Ooh, nice observation, Gonta. Are you finally getting used to the class trials?
Uh-huh. Thank you.
Don't say it like that. You're better off not being used to this kind of stuff.
Maybe they marked Tenko with glowing paint and looked for that.
No, you're thinking of the previous game.
That'd let the culprit find her. Then they could stab her through the floorboards.
Boy, that sounds really familiar too. But I'm just gonna ignore it.
Her corpse didn't have any trace of glowing paint, though.
Oh, yeah. So then why was that floorboard loose?
Seesaw.
The loose floorboard was the one under Tenko, right? If the culprit used it while she was still alive, she'd totally notice.
Who fucking cares? Fussing over that won't get us closer to the culprit!
Yeah, well,
We shouldn't dismiss this line of inquiry, however. Instead of butting our heads against this, how about we concentrate on another issue?
no. We need to focus on this.
What other issue?
Perhaps first, we should figure out how and when exactly Tenko was killed.
When? So not during seance?
Tenko was in the metal cage for the whole seance, wasn't she? How could someone have gotten to her there?
Maybe the culprit killed her before she went under the metal cage.
Nope.
That's not possible. She was alive at that point.
This is the point of no return, Tenko. After this point, you mustn't speak. The next time you open your mouth, it will be Angie speaking through you. Understood. I will not say a word until the seance is over.
Yes, she was unmistakably alive when the seance began.
That was right before we blew out the candles. But when the light came back...
The floorboard was removed at that point, so it's likely she was already dead then.
So she was killed when the room was dark?
But she was inside Cage, right? Going to think it impossible to kill her then.
And she wasn't killed when the room was dark. It was a different time.
A different time?
How the fuck should I know? You figure it out, shitheads.
Huh?
Since Gonta said it was impossible, I'm proposing an alternate theory. Now hurry up and think! If you want to make my golden brain tingle, start circle jerking your limp dick brains!
Let's see. What are we going for this time?
When Tenko got killed, it wasn't during the seance.
It could not have been done at any other time. She was under the cage the whole time, and she was dead when the cage was lifted.
What about moment Cage was lifted?
Ooh, like that.
When Cage lifted, culprit stabbed Tenko real fast. So fast, no one saw.
Oh my!
So who lifted the cage?
It was me.
Then obviously Himiko is the culprit!
There's no doubt!
There's something wrong with that girl. Okay, Tenko not being killed during the seance. It might not be impossible, but there's no evidence for it.
When Tenko got killed, it wasn't during the seance.
It could not have been done at any other time. She was under the cage the whole time, and she was dead when the cage was lifted.
What about moment Cage was lifted?
Ooh, like that.
When Cage lifted, culprit stabbed Tenko real fast. So fast, no one saw.
Oh my!
So who lifted the cage?
It was me.
Then obviously Himiko is the culprit!
Hang on. Damn it! If the culprit killed her when they opened the cage, then only Himiko could have done it.
Damn it!
Ugh.
When Tenko got killed, it wasn't during the seance.
It could not have been done
Oh,
at any other
there it
time.
is.
She was under the cage the whole time. And she was dead when the cage was lifted. What about moment Cage was lifted?
Ooh, like that.
When Cage lifted, culprit stabbed Tenko real fast. So fast, no one saw.
Oh my!
So who lifted the cage?
All right, there's blood on the fight sheet, so
Then obviously
Himiko is the culprit.
damn it.
There's no...
Ah,
When Tenko got killed, it wasn't during the seance. It could not have been done at any other time. She was under the cage the whole time. And she was dead when the cage was lifted. What about moment cage was lifted? When cage lifted, culprit stabbed Tenko real fast. So fast, no one saw. She lifted the cage.
okay, here we go.
then obviously Himiko is the
Culprit.
What? Damn and blast. Ah,
When Tenko got killed, it wasn't during the seance.
It-
Could not have
at
been
this
done
point, I'm going to run out of time.
the cage the whole time.
Good
She was dead
grief.
when the cage was lifted.
Ah,
What about moment cage was lifted?
problem is, that could be it too.
Real fast. No one saw. She lifted the cage.
then obviously Himiko is the culprit.
Oh, not that either. Damn and blast. Okay, so
When Tenko got killed,
going to statement then.
it could not have been done at any other time.
Almost out of hearts too.
The whole time. And she was dead when the cage was lifted.
What about moment Cage was...
There it is.
wrong!
No, it wasn't possible to kill her the moment the cage was lifted. Because the inside of the white cloth had Tenko's blood on it. That cloth was removed before the cage was lifted. If Tenko was stabbed then, there wouldn't be blood on the cloth.
What? But how could my golden brain be wrong when it felt so right?
The only possibility is that Tenko was killed during the seance.
I got your remodel right
what?
here!
What?
No, it's still wrong to think that Tenko was killed during the seance.
Why?
What?
I'm gonna prove it right now. My golden brain is gonna go all out!
Okay, crap.
Tenko died after the seance. It happened when the sheet was lifted. That was the moment the culprit chose to stab the fuck out of Tenko through the cage. They stuck the thin blade through the gaps of the cage, and that clean white sheet got stained blood red.
The weapon was a sickle. Only the blade could have fit through the gaps.
The blade's all you need. If you stick the blade through a gap in the cage, it'd be long enough to reach Tenko. Sitting in there with her neck all exposed. She wasn't that far from the cage's gap. In which case, the person who lifted the sheet is the culprit, and that's none other than Kyo.
There has to be a hole in Mew's logic somewhere. All I have to do is show the evidence that will counter Mew's claims.
The blade's all you need. If you stick the blade through a gap in the cage, it'd be long enough to reach Tenko.
Damn it!
Sitting in there with her neck all exposed.
Was that it?
I'll cut through your words.
Did I do it?
Wait just a minute. Tenko wasn't sitting down inside the cage. She was bent over with her forehead against the marker stone, and the cage itself was about 3 feet tall. The sickle's blade was too short to reach Tenko while she was in that position.
Then I messed up again? How could this happen? I am so embarrassed.
You should be. You're a bad person and you should feel bad about it.
No worries, Mew. Everyone already knows you're an embarrassment to the human race.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, Gonta.
How embarrassing!
If Shuichi is right, then it's impossible for Tenko to have been killed through the cage.
She couldn't have been killed during the seance since she was in the cage, right?
If she was killed then, the cloth over the cage would have been pierced.
Not if the sickle was underneath the cloth.
Not during the seance or from below the floor. Then it's impossible, isn't it?
Yeah, for a living person.
Oh, come on.
Huh?
What if Angie's spirit killed Tenko?
What are you talking about? That's not possible!
We don't know that. Some things are impossible for a human, but not for a spirit.
Don't say stupid stuff like that! Screw spirits!
Stop that now.
Angie's spirit killed Tenko? Why?
Himiko?
Why would Angie's spirit kill Tenko?
I think Kokichi is trying to lure Kyo out by talking about the spirits and Angie and everything.
What if Tenko killed Angie, and then Angie's spirit came back for revenge?
There it is!
Like I said, that's impossible! Spirits can't be culprits!
Then explain how the culprit killed Tenko under these impossible circumstances.
Well,
See? You can't explain, can you? Only a spirit could have done that!
Wait! I know! What if the culprit was hiding inside the cage?
No.
If they were in there, they could have stabbed Tenko during the seance.
No. If there was someone else in the cage, we would have
I agree
noticed.
with Kaito. The culprit could have been inside the cage.
What? You do?
Nonsense. There was no space in the cage for the culprit to hide.
Maybe the culprit wouldn't need to hide in the first place.
What?
Also, the culprit could have killed her in the cage at any time. I think you know what I'm getting at, right?
The they she's referring to. What? What? But it's Kyo. Oh! Wait, does she think, what? Oh, damn it. Wrong. Who could have killed Tenko inside the cage at any time? Oh. You don't mean Tenko, do you?
Damn it!
Oh, crap. You think Tenko killed herself? Hang on. My God, where is she? Oh, there she is.
I believe Maki is referring to Tenko herself.
What did you say? Are you saying Tenko is the culprit?
She committed suicide.
Suicide?
If she committed suicide, it would explain a lot of things we couldn't figure out. She volunteered to be in the cage and then stabbed herself during the seance.
With what?
It wouldn't matter how dark the room was.
But the sickle she was stabbed with was under the floor, right? If Tenko had stabbed herself, wouldn't the sickle still be inside the cage?
Oh my God. Mew actually said something smart.
Perhaps that explains why the floorboard was removed. After stabbing herself with the sickle, she threw it underneath the floor.
So she took off the floorboard to get rid of the sickle?
Yes, that makes sense to Gonta.
No. If Tenko killed herself and then set it up to make it look like someone else did it, then Himiko would die. And there is no way in hell Tenko would ever allow that to happen.
Well, it doesn't make sense to me. There's no reason for Tenko to commit suicide.
Maybe I wasn't too far off with the theory I had earlier. You know, about Tenko killing Angie.
Yeah?
Because Tenko and Angie were fighting for your attention, right?
Hey, Angie, when did you brainwash Himiko?
Tenko's pent-up frustration led her to commit such an atrocity. Her conscience couldn't handle it anymore, so she decided to end her own life.
What?
But if she was gonna kill herself, why do it during the seance?
She wanted to hide the truth of her suicide.
Really? Why?
There could only be one reason to hide it in a killing game, right? It's to take us down with her.
Take us down?
She wanted us to pick the wrong answer during the class trial, so she could bring us all down. She wanted us to die with her. Okay, well, she probably just wanted Himiko to die with her, but still.
What are you saying? Tenko wasn't like that.
I agree with Himiko.
She told me.
Keep your chin up and live life facing forward. Survive with me and everyone else.
What if all of that was just a lie?
A lie?
Wait! We should believe Tenko's last words!
The true terror of class trials is that you shouldn't believe everything said.
Himiko, you said that Tenko would never do anything like that. But how can you be so sure? Did you guys actually know each other? People keep all sorts of secrets. Like Maki. She hid the fact that she's a cold-blooded killer. Is it wise of us to trust other people wholeheartedly in this kind of situation?
Jeez, you're such a naive dude.
Naive?
We're all just people, you know? Of course we're gonna have some secrets. What matters is whether there's any malice behind them.
People can lie about how malicious their hidden secrets really are.
Well, duh. It's impossible to know for sure what others are thinking. That's why it all comes down to whether or not you believe in yourself. If you get betrayed, it's not their fault. It's your fault for believing in them. That's why I believed in Maki Roll, because I wanted to believe in her.
Just because you're acting all cool doesn't mean you get to skip training.
Hey, come on. Don't you think you're being a little too strict?
Well, we come from different backgrounds. So for now, let's agree to disagree. No one's ever called me naive before. And from Kaito? Seriously?
Whether or not I believe, my heart can't reach Tenko anymore. But I want to believe in her. She wouldn't commit suicide. She wouldn't try to take us down. That's what I want to believe!
Me too. Gota no can believe Tenko commits suicide.
But if Tenko did commit suicide, that would answer all of our questions.
If you insist we believe in Tenko, then provide a reason to do so.
A proper reason.
All right, I'll give you a reason.
Is there a reason?
Yes, there is. Will you trust me, Maki? If it turns out I'm wrong, you can blame me all you like. But for now, I need you to trust in my detective work.
I don't believe Tenko would kill herself because of what she said. Okay, everyone, I'll see you guys after the seance. She said, see you guys after. Doubt she had a sudden change of heart. Just because we don't know how she was killed doesn't mean that it was suicide. Shouldn't be satisfied with that. If we keep thinking, we'll find the truth. In the next episode, to the outro. Okay, so I'm still not sure how I'm going to prove that Kyo killed Angie, but I think we're getting close to proving that he killed Tenko. He hid the sickle in the sheet, placed it point down through the cage, then covered it with the sheet. While we were singing, he made his way to the loose floorboard, stomped on it, driving Tenko into the sickle, which was held in place by the dog statue. Actually, the reason he had us all sing along was to mask his movements. So, once the statue was removed, he removed the sheet along with the sickle hidden in it and dropped the sickle through the hole in the floor while we were all freaking out. Easy. Anywho, up here is a playlist of my Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations playthrough, and down here is a video that YouTube recommends. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!